Welcome back to my Master series. And this week we have From Faking It to Being It, the Metronome and the Masterclass episode. To start, I'm going back, way back to my DJ days, back when my hair was better and my caffeine intake was more questionable, let's put it that way. Imagine a room at 2 a.m. The bass is so heavy, you can feel it in your molars, and the air is thick with that specific scent of dry ice and a little bit of optimism. For 8 years, that was my office. As a pro DJ, my only job was to read the room. If I lost the crowd's energy for even 60 seconds, the night could well be a total washout. Now, you might think moving from a DJ booth to a tech studio is a massive jump, but here's my little secret. A development team is just a dance floor with better health insurance and usually fewer glow sticks too. Usually, I say. When I stepped back into a leadership role in my previous company, I walked into a massive management love deficit. There were world-class engineers being treated like spreadsheet cells. Easy for you to say. The energy was flatlining. My star developer, the metronome, who set the pace for the whole squad, was starting to drift. He was working late to hide mistakes, checking out emotionally, and his rhythm had just gone. Now, I could have scheduled a formal performance review. I could have deployed some corporate jargon. Please, it's gross. Please don't do that. Instead, I reached for what I call the positive mask. In my early days, a happy mask was a facade I wore to hide how burnt out I was. But I realized it was actually a tool. I decided to be the calmest person in the room so my developer didn't have to be. I acted as a communication solid door, blocking nearly every Slack message and every frantic exec request like a doorman with a great style detection. Sorry, mate. Flares are out of fashion this week. You ain't coming in. By refusing to let those not so dressed well, or in my case, those carrying non important issues and impending doom and panic, as they often do, I made sure I gave him the space to find his beat again. For him and the rest of the team, I used a trick from my DJ days called the subtle drop. I tease a teeny riff of a new track, a new idea, during a one-on-one or a team meeting, just enough for the team to hear it subconsciously. When I finally dropped the full plan later in the week, or even in the same meeting, they felt like they'd predicted it, they'd heard it somewhere before. It was already old news, and they were already warmed up to it. It allowed them to own it. I wasn't playing a character. I was aligning my internal energy my external energy with my internal goal, making them successful without them knowing I was even helping. I do vividly remember one board member eventually asking me, "Can we bottle your personality, Chris?" And one of my metronome drowning developer, years later, he told me I was the first manager who actually helped him to see his own potential. For me, that was such a big win. You know what? I actually felt like winning the championship ring. I felt so good that I'd managed to help him through being positive. I even took this positive mindset into an interview for a massive cool tech firm once. Instead of walking in hoping they'd like me, I flipped the script. I interviewed them. I walked in with the quiet confidence of a DJ who knows he has the perfect records ready for the peak of the night. Yes, I know it sounds a little bit cocky, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to be your own champion. Something that actually came really hard to me of being my own champion. But I'll dig into that in a future episode. But here's the warning. There is a razor thin line between confidence and being a jerk. If your positive mask is fueled by ego, you'll lose the locker room and you'll flunk that interview. However, if it's fueled by genuine desire to build your team up to be great in that new company, then it becomes a magnet. So tell me, are you setting the team tempo and giving off positive vibes, or are you just making noise? Trust me, the crowd and your team always knows when you're not feeling what you're laying down. So let me know in the comments your ideas and thoughts on positivity. How has positivity worked for you? Or do you disagree that being positive is a really good way to galvanize the team? I'm always up for a good debate, and I love a difference of opinion. You've been listening to Christopher Stanley and my Masks podcast. Until next week, keep being positive and truly happy. Thank you.